Welcome to Teens Timeout. I am Chidima Wadike. And with us here is Audrey Polycarp. She's a works prefect in High Cast International School. It's a pleasure to have you here for
Thank you
Teens
for
Timeout show
having me.
today. Thank you for coming. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. And you're going to have an amazing time.
Yes, I trust you.
Yeah, you will. So we have several stories we will be talking about today, some of the challenges that teens face. And one of them is academic challenges, understanding the difficulties teenagers face. Academic challenges are obstacles that students face in their educational journey. These hurdles can hinder performance and growth, leading to frustration and stress. Difficulty keeping up with schoolwork, test anxiety, or struggling to find a learning style that works. Our talking points will be dealing with teenagers. How can they deal with academic challenges by identifying the roots of the problem, developing healthy study habits, actively seeking help from teachers or tutors, managing their time effectively, practicing self-care, and communicating openly with parents or trusted adults about their struggles. They should also focus on setting realistic goals, breaking down complex tasks into smaller manageable steps, and using positive coping mechanisms to manage stress. So, Audrey, I actually would love to ask you, what is the best way to handle academic challenges as a teenager?
For me, the best way to handle academic challenges is to find a schedule that works for you because a lot of people have problems with particular subjects, with their teachers. Most times, a student is smart, but because of they have just chosen to hate a particular teacher, because if you hate a teacher, you can't like the subject.
Yeah.
But because they have just put their mindset that, oh, this is hard, oh, it can be difficult, they don't even want to include it in their schedule. So, creating a schedule to be able to read, to taking your time out to be able to understand that, helping, asking for help actually from your fellow students, because some people find it easier to learn from their peers.
Okay.
And then finding that one person that you can ask, maybe a study partner, like your classmates. You'd ask them, oh, I like to read from here to here. Can you help me to read from this time to that time? It's a lot easier.
And group reading also.
Group reading, it helps you to understand better than normal, like than the learning in classrooms.
Okay.
Also, finding a teacher that you understand best from. There should, and in every school, there is one particular teacher.
Yes,
that every student does like.
Yes.
So that's the person that you can always go meet and ask to, oh, I don't understand this, oh, but explain to me this. And try to also like that particular subject and like that particular teacher.
Okay.
It's good to have a neutral mind to every subject and to every teacher, so you don't end up failing one particular thing because of one.
So, as a teenager, do you think that idea of liking a particular teacher helps in this academic challenges that teenagers face? When you like a teacher, do you think that can also make a particular teenager like that course and do better in that particular course?
I feel like yes, because if you like that teacher, whatever the teacher is saying helps stick because of you already have respect for that teacher, which gains you respect for that subject. So everything the teacher is saying, you always just get stuck because of some teachers have a perfect way of teaching. They have a very, very nice way of helping you to understand. So when you like that teacher, you've already gained that teacher's respect, so you understand the subject better.
Okay. I also wanted to ask, why do teenagers find it difficult to speak up when they are facing challenges in school? Why do most of them feel like I don't want anybody to know? And oftentimes, some of them will not want you to know their results. They don't want you to know the position they have in class.
Yes. Most times shame, most times fear, because some parents will be like, why didn't you get this? Why didn't you get that?
Okay.
Look at this person. This person got this score. Person got that score. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to be insulted. They don't want to be ashamed of, I don't know, but they don't want to be mocked about their scores. So they just choose to keep it themselves. And some people, even if they act like they don't care, deep down they actually care, but they don't know how to just come out and say that, oh, I need help in this. So they just bring up or create that form of barrier to, or that kind of front to act like they don't care about that particular score or that particular area where they need help. They're just
So,
the
and
reason.
talking about parents, do you think parents should come in situations like this when you notice a particular ward is not doing well in a particular subject? What do you think parents should do in that instance?
A supportive family is the best with children that are really smart. Over the years, I have noticed that because yes, I may be young, but when your parents help you with a particular subject, you tend to gain love for that subject. My dad, he helps me with every science subject.
Okay, so what if your parents, let's say, let me not use your parents, you just talked about your dad. What of families where the parents are not available to physically help that particular teenager? What other means do you think the parents can also put in place to help that child to do better in a subject that he or she has problem with?
Maybe asking the child communication, because proper communication can actually help
Okay.
that situation, because as they say, a problem that is shared is half solved. When you communicate with that child, you find out what that child actually needs, where they have that problem with, and you also find out who that child actually likes. Maybe you can suggest 1 or 2 ways of helping the child to study in case you don't really know that subject. But just that speaking with the child may have already found a solution because they have been able to air their mind and able to talk about that problem that they actually have.
Okay. Or maybe sometimes there's some home tutors. Do you think that's also another idea of having home tutors after school moral classes? Do you think that means can also help in curbing that academic challenge that teenager faces?
For some children, it may help. Personally, I think that after school lessons is just stress.
It's stress.
Yes.
Do you do after school lessons?
No.
Why? Okay, because you find it as a stressful one.
I did it one time. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Does your school organize something like that?
Yes.
Okay, and that's for that extramural classes is also an idea for certain students that did not have the opportunity to actually learn better in the normal school setting.
Yes.
So that also makes so the school also comes in position to help with these academic challenges that students face. And my other question is repeating a class the best way to make a teenager sit up for his or her academic performance?
Yes. If a student sees that they are going back to the class of their juniors, they will definitely sit up.
They want to sit up because you will not want to be humiliated.
Yes.
Okay.
I know of a person who had repeated, and because she had repeated and her friends had gone to a higher class, the person immediately sat up and the person got promoted the next year.
And the person did better. So making teenagers repeat class, students repeat class is actually another best way.
But it's not in everybody's case. Some people they don't really repeat on purpose. Some students just have a really hard time learning.
Okay.
Some students have a hard time grasping some kind of ideologies and some kind of concepts. So in that kind of case, you need a special teacher. Some students don't even really need an everyday school.
Okay.
So you have to, even if you don't have the money to get to that kind of special school, you have to put in the extra work. You have to speak to their teachers about it. You have to speak to the school management about it to be able to help those students grasp that particular thing taught in class.
Okay. We have the other question that I wanted to ask you. What other have you actually had a public speaking where you got to talk to students that have this academic academic challenges in school? Have you actually had a situation where, because while in school back then, we've been in a situation where we had this set of friends that didn't like maths. I wasn't really the type that likes maths, and most times during exams we'll be like, oh, so before exams we'll come together, and sometimes then that was when To Go was really active. We'll be asking each other questions, and helping each other. When we come back to school, we will do this group lesson together. Do you think that is also another means of helping teenager students that have this academic challenges?
Yes. Some time ago, I had created a reading group, although it didn't. The first one I created, it actually worked because we actually read together, learned some different things. The second one, the persons already had a steady means of reading,
okay,
which I couldn't integrate into my schedule properly. but we still read together. You read in classrooms. That group reading, like they teach a subject or a particular topic, and that concept is not grasped by your classmates. I'll just ask you, do you understand? I do it a lot to my
Yes, because it's easy to understand when your fellow classmates is actually teaching you.
And I understand or I remember, like, it doesn't really leave my brain if I teach somebody else.
Okay.
So once you just teach, do you understand? Should I explain to you? I just go around, I teach, I just explain to them.
Okay.
If a junior needs problems with a particular math problem, they always ask me.
Okay.
I'll just go teach you. Although, when you ask, you are the one who has to be willing enough to come and then know that you just ask and then really help me, and then a week passes, I don't even see you.
Okay.
But when you have the willingness to learn, reading in groups actually helps.
Okay. Thank you on that. Actually, our next topic we'll be talking about is family relationship, the mental, physical, and emotional challenges it has on teens. Well, firstly, I would love to ask you, do you have a good relationship with your family members?
Yes.
Okay.